I talk about this book ad nauseum because she has stories of hope. She lays out issues we have, and then she says, here's where they're working on it, and it's better. But the gist of the book, I just want to say it because it's like completely changed how I view everything in the world right now. The gist is, why can't we have nice things in America? Why don't we get childcare subsidies like they do in Europe? Why don't we have universal health care? Why don't we have all of these social programs that the rest of the world enjoys, right? Argentina, Israel, all these countries that we are giving billions of dollars to, they have a better standard of living than we do. All of our money goes to other countries, the army, and the rich, while the rest of us suffer. And Heather McGhee makes a great case in this book. It is because of racism. It was because as soon as black people were entitled to the same things as white people said, pass. Nah, we'll pass. And she gives great examples of public pools that basically in the 1920s, public pools were built all over this country. And then the black kids didn't get to swim in them. They had to go swim in rivers. And in Baltimore, several kids died. They drowned in the rivers because they had no public pools to swim in, like the white kids. And so the government started saying you have to let black kids swim in pools so that they don't die. Rather than doing that, a lot of cities filled their pools in with dirt and grass and made fields. They'd rather not have a pool for themselves than share a pool with black people. And I think to my husband's family, who's working class, my family's not, we've never really had to deal with poverty, but the attitude they have about handouts and the government and all of this, it's just funny to me that the poorest people who need the government handouts more than anybody are so snotty about it. And it's because of this messaging where it's better just to go without it than to let them have it. And it has been repeated and morphed over time so that it doesn't sound quite so racist anymore. But that is how it started. And now it's like the rich people, the Republicans have been like, this is great. Let's have them keep saying no. We will say yes. We will say yes to corporate welfare, but this is awesome that they won't take it. Or poor people take it and don't realize it because it has a nice name. Like it's not called Medicaid. It has a nicer name than that. So you don't realize like how poor you are. But looking at everything through that lens of, we used to be okay with things until black people could have them too. And then suddenly the government shouldn't pay for anything. You should just do stuff on your own. That became much more of an issue after black people could have it too. Think back to Oklahoma. They were just giving land away. So people who are my age, who haven't lived through this, understand that our government used to provide a lot of things for Americans, and Americans were just fine with it. They were fine with taking it and being supported by their government. But because our ancestors kidnapped people and then forced them to work land and then freed them, and now they're here with us, because our ancestors did not fix that very well, because there was no plan on how to integrate that was carried out. Reconstruction had a plan, but it was hijacked. We are still dealing with the fallout. And part of the fallout is the fact that we all have to do without. We don't get health care. We don't get child subsidies. We don't get free college educations. Our schools are underfunded. People are going to private school vouchers and private schools to avoid integration. That is what they have done since 1954, since Brown versus the Board of Education. Public school vouchers were the brainchild of Milton Friedman. And his whole point was, hey, not that he was a segregationist, but he told the segregationists, one way to avoid going to school with the black kids is if we can get private school vouchers, and then you take that voucher to the private school and the private school says no, and they don't let the black kids in, then you don't have to integrate. So thinking that way, how many things in our country do we do without because of racism? And I will tell you, it's a lot.